Good morning. God bless you. Pastor W. Lonnie Herndon here. Let's get ready for the Word of God. This is the way Kimberly and Cupcake and I start our day with morning meditations. Listen to the Word of God and be blessed.
Greetings. My name is Phaedra Anderson, and welcome to Compassion's Morning Meditations. Today, I will be reading from John 14:15, which reads, "If you love me, keep my commandments." And if I had to title this morning's meditation, it would be Teach Me. History reveals to us that the book of John never provides us the name of its author. However, by way of evidence and by unanimous testimonies, it's safe to say that the disciple that walked with Jesus, John, the disciple that bear witness of the events of the gospel, was in fact the true author. The book of John is also known as the fourth gospel because it was written after the other three. It was also said that John wrote the book somewhere between AD 85 and AD 95 while he was serving the church of Ephesus. And John happens to be one of my favorite gospels because it starts off with a very familiar language found in Genesis 1:1, which reads, "In the beginning, God." And it goes on to say, "In the beginning, God created." And John 1:1 says, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God." Somebody say, "In the beginning." It introduces Jesus in the beginning as the Word, as the Logos. It establishes God as the Creator, letting us all know that God existed in the beginning. And the reason why I bring that up is because many don't love God because they don't know God, and they don't obey God because they don't trust God, and they don't trust God because they don't believe in the beginning the Word was God. Somebody say, "I got it in the beginning." And that's important because according to John 14:6, only those who believe and receive the truth of who Jesus is are set free and are able to keep his commandments. Somebody say it, "I got it in the beginning." So in the beginning of John 14:15, we have Jesus saying to his disciples, "If you love me, keep my commandments." The Message Bible says it a little like this. It says, "If you love me, show it by doing what I've told you," which lets me know that loving God takes more than lip service. It lets me know that in order to love God right, I have to find out what his love language is. Because according to Dr. Gary Chapman, if you know your spouse's or your loved one's love language, you can connect with them more profoundly. So to those that are married and to those that are in relationships, I just need to know this. Do you know his love language? Do you know her love language? Because they say when you know your spouse's love language, you can truly begin to grow closer to them. So if you're watching this morning with your spouse, with your bae, with your boo, look at them and ask them, "Do you know my love language?" But as I read the text, I started to formulate all kinds of questions like, "God, how do I love you?" And the word love here means agapao, 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 which means to love, to long for, to take pleasure in, to actively do what the Lord prefers, to be contented with. Somebody say, "Lord, teach me how to love you." Teach me how to keep, which means to obey, to attend carefully, to observe your commandments, to observe the way in which you say that a thing is supposed to be done. Lord, teach me how to obey you. Matthew 22:37 says, "Lord, it says, love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. Lord, teach me how to love you. Teach me how to hold fast to your teachings. Teach me how to walk in such a way that I understand that the proper source of obedience is love. Lord, teach me how to love you. Teach me what your love language is. And as I begin to seek out a thing, I learned that out of the 5 love languages, this particular text was identical to one of them, because it was more of the you can show me better than you can tell me kind of love language. Because John 14:15 in the Message Bible says, if you love me, show it by doing what I told you. Yes, we can tell God that we love him. Yes, he inhabits the praises of his people. But in this particular text, he says, if you love me, show me, which leads me to believe that his primary love language is acts of service. John 13:16 says, for God so loved the world that he gave, which is an act of service. So in order to show God that we love him, we have to do something that we know that he likes. We have to do something that brings him pleasure. And based on the text, we can conclude that he likes for his children to obey him. And one may say, obey what? Which is a valid question. So instead of giving 3 points, I'm just going to give the 10 commandments because one, I believe that we can use a refresher. Somebody say, I can use a refresher. And 2, it says that if we love God, we'll do what he told us to do. And it shows us how to express our love for him to him. With the first being not to have another God but him. Exodus 20 is where we find the 10 commandments. And the first one says, you shall have no other gods before me. You shall make no idols. 3, you shall not take the name of the Lord your God in vain. 4, keep the Sabbath day holy. 5, honor your father and your mother. 6, you shall not murder. 7, you shall not commit adultery. 8, you shall not steal. 9, you shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. And 10, you shall not covet. So now that we have a refresher of the 10 commandments, a refresher of what it is that God told us to do, we have a better understanding that our obedience to God is a direct reflection of our love for God and for our love for people. So now that we know now that we know that, again, that our obedience to God is a direct reflection of not only our love to God, but to our love for people, I'll just close with this one question. Because I know that we say with our lips that we love God. I say with my lips that I love God. You say with your lips that you love God. But now that you know his love language, ask yourself, do you really love him? And are you sure? Thank you for tuning in to Compassion's Morning Meditations. We are here every day at 7 a.m. Be blessed.